Yo, what is up, folks? TG here, taking a look at the new kind of twist on a Golgari Midrange. It's Green Midrange, and the new card everyone's kind of like raving about. It's been out for a while now. I guess Wilds has been out for like a month, but Mosswood Dreadknight, 1 and a green for a 3/2. It's got trample, but when it dies, you can cast it from your graveyard as an adventure turn. What is that adventure? We have Dread Whispers, 1 and a black for a sorcery. You draw a card and lose a life. So you play as a 3/2, either block with it, attack with it, whatever. If it dies, goes to your graveyard, you can cast it again. So then it has to be on the next turn. You don't get to kind of like leave it for later. But then 1 in a black, draw a card, lose a life, and then obviously it goes on an adventure again. You get to cast it. Spin the wheels. Combined with some other cards, it's really made a name for itself in the black green mid-range shell. For example, going and drawing like, hey, extra ways to draw cards like every turn or two. Hey, we've got like Shield Draw up here, and around that we have like a pretty standard black green mid-range shell with a couple of interesting twists and turns to it as well. So, starting things off at 1, obviously, best black spells of the format. We've got 4 copies of Fatal Push, 4 copies of Thoughtseize. We don't have tons of ways to enable Revolt here, but just the most efficient early removal spell possible, and also a hand disruption, which is really, really strong. At 2, so while we don't have loads of ways to enable Revolt, we do have some just solid straight up removal spells at 2. So we've got Go for the Throat, Heartless Act, and Power of Word Kill, 1 of each. Greasefang is always the number 1 kind of like target here, just a way to interact with it, even when you're on the draw. Super, super nice. And then for creatures, we have our 4 copies of Mosswood Dreadknight. It comes down as a 3/2. It's got trample, so even if it's getting like chump blocks or whatever, it's still pushing damage. So you have that inevitability there, especially combined with like the card draw going that way. It's not at its best versus aggro decks. That's the kind of one weakness of the card, I think, but versus anything mid-range you control, really, really solid. And even versus combo, just being able to slam a creature on turn 2 to start putting pressure on after you've like Thoughtseize. Hopefully you get to slow them down with some hand disruption, and then you basically just want to put a clock on as fast as possible. We then have some nice extra pieces here. 1 copy of Scavenging Ooze, which is, hey, graveyard hate, and especially things like Greasefang like that. Again, scales really, really well. Versus aggro, you can get some life back, and obviously it grows to block things. Or later on in the game versus like mid-range control, again, you'll have a stocked graveyard where you can you just play it and immediately like turn into a 6/6 or whatever. So pretty good there too. Misery Shadow is a nice one, especially versus Sacrifice, which is very, very popular at the moment. 1 in the back for a 2/2, and then if a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. Really, really good. Great versus like Cauldron Familiar, all the cat other nonsense. And then also, I talked about putting a clock on with Mosswood Dreadknight. Misery Shadow has the kind of like Nantuko shade ability here. Single colorless mana to get +1/+1. Hey, you got mana floating around, just invest it here, get some beat down, done. Pretty nice. And again, because of that, scales really, really well into the late game. It's like, oh, it's like turn 9, I'm not doing enough with this mana, let's just make this a 7/7 or whatever. Pretty great. At 3, some good old favourites, kind of cluttered with like good things to play here. 4 copies of Graveyard Trespasser. Almost always a 2-for-1. It blocks really well because it's hard for your opponent to interact with it, but also versus mid-range control. If they try and remove it, they're discarding cards. And some incidental life gain, so just really, really solid. 2 copies of Liliana the Veil. I've actually gone for a splitter here. So 2 copies of Liliana the Veil. Attacks the opponent's hand. See, is always going to be a 2-for-1 those like mid-range matchups. You can make them sacrifice a creature, and has an ultimate that kind of puts your opponent into a really bad position. And then we're also playing 1 copy of Liliana of the Last Hope. We've got a few different creature things to get back here. It does have the ability to snipe off little creatures. There aren't tons of them floating around the format, but against things like mono white, that +1 ability to give the creature -2/-1 is pretty relevant. We're really playing it for the -2, and the ability to kind of like just play it and just tick up towards the ultimate. The -2 here, mill 2 cards and return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. You've got a bunch of great things, whether that be Dreadknight, which obviously is the kind of like core purpose here, recurring Shield Dread when it's gone to the graveyard, or Scavenging Ooze, or any of our 3 drops here too. All pretty great to do that with. And then obviously picks up to -7. -7 is you get an emblem at your end step, create X/2/2 zombie creatures with X is 2 plus the number of zombies you control. If you have no zombies, it creates 2, and then it just starts scaling and will eventually end the game. And so as control decks, you just slam it, start taking it up, and eventually they die if they can't deal with it, which is pretty awesome. We have 1 copy of Glister Sunslayer, some nice utility here. It's great in like creature combat because it gets its first rate death touch, and so it kills everything it touches. But versus more controlling stuff, when it does damage to play, you get to choose 1, draw a card, lose a life. Sweet, you get some card advantage, just rotate enchantment, should be good against like fires and that kind of thing, or remove up to 3 counters from target permanent. Not bad, not bad. And then lastly, you've got 2 copies of Murderous Rider. Swift End here, the main thing. Destroys that creature, Planeswalker, you lose 2 life. But then, hey, having a lifelink creature in your deck is pretty nice, even if it goes onto the bottom. So it's like, you're not really getting it back with Liliana, but hey, it's a nice one. I like having a creature spell that kind of doubles as a piece of removal. Then at 4, we've got 3 copies of Shield Dread. I don't want to go all in on 4 drops, like you have to be a little worried about the deck being quite clunky, but Shield Dread is just amazing. 3 copies is incredible with Dreadknight. We also have 2 copies of Escus Chariot, just a really, really solid threat. And 1 copy of The End, which is a new removal spell from Wild's Veldrain. 2 less to cast if your life total is 5 or less, but 2 black, which is a bit expensive, but does have a lot of upside. So the actual ability is exile target creature or planeswalker, but then search the controller's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name, and exile them. Versus like planeswalker decks, things like Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, things like Greasefang. All really, really amazing targets. You just get them all out of the deck. Amazing. And so just 1 copy here with an extra one, I think, in the board for matchups where it's like really, really good, where that exiling ability is really effective. And the last thing here is a single copy of Invoke Despair. Just a really good card to like break open some of the more mid-range matchups. Hard to cast, but on mana base is fairly tuned towards casting it. 1 black, sorcery. Target opponent sacrifices a creature. If they can't, they lose 2 life and you draw a card. Repeat for an enchantment of Planeswalker. Make your opponent sacrifice a bunch of stuff. You draw a bunch of cards. Get really ahead on the board. And a bunch of cards, and they lose life. It just kind of does everything. Even like just like draining your opponent for 6 if they're playing some kind of combo deck can just let you finish the game out, which is super, super nice. So about that mana base, we do have 2 lands that don't tap for black, kind of by themselves. There's a Forest and Boseiju. Boseiju pairing with Takanuma as some utility, alongside 2 copies of Castle Locthwain and 2 copies of Hive of the Eye Tyrant for mana lands. Really, really solid. Locthwain. We do have a reasonable number of swamps. Unfortunately, we are lacking Urborg, which would obviously be a nice one for this deck, especially given we're trying to cast Invoke Despair at sometimes. From there, we also have like our normal set of dual lands, 4 Bleeding Marsh, 4 Darkboard Pathway, 3 Deathcap Glade, 1 Land of Warriors, and 4 copies of Overgrown Tomb. Going to be playing some best of 3 ranked matches. Let's go into the sideboard as well. We have 1 more copy of Scavenging Ooze, Greasefang, other graveyard decks, fair enough. Kalatas, just really, really solid versus aggro. Gives you a lifelink blocker that then also means that all your removal spells turn into zombies. That then also you can sacrifice to make the lifelink blocker bigger, and then you get to start attacking with it and just win the game. Pretty awesome, pretty awesome. This is more controlling in mid-rangey decks. We've got Sorin the Mirthless as a bit of a mirror breaker. Card advantage for you, plus evasive attackers. Really, really solid. 1 extra copy to the end, where that exiling ability to kind of like extract their creature or planeswalker is really, really good. A bit of a piece of tech here that I quite like in Polycratus Unchained. It is not Oko. However, it does escape from your graveyard for 6 mana. The idea here is it keeps coming back, but then also fights your opponent's creatures, so it's pretty good in creature matchups. And things like aggro. Extra copy of Invoke Despair, again, kind of those mid-range matchups. And then we have some other bits and pieces. So 2 copies of Duress, largely versus combo. 2 copies of Terra Sunder to help deal with artifacts or enchantments. So it does also have that kicker ability, which you can pay here for hitting everything. So it can cover a couple of other matchups as well. 2 copies of Reckon the Bankbuster. My All-Star, but again, kind of the slower matchups, and then 2 copies of Go Blank as well. Either graveyard stuff, or again, those slower matchups you can kind of pair it up with Duress, Thoughtseize, and Liliana the Veil to just take your opponent's hand and pick it apart. Really, really solid. Right, let's hop into some ranked matches. If you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel, I really appreciate it, and let's get going. Alright, first match with Mosswood Dreadknight Golgari. There it goes, we are on the draw. Triple fail push, 1 lander. Pretty sure it's a mulligan. They've snap cab. What companion is that? Jagantha. Thing. Still gonna check this back. We'll keep this. I think blind we kinda wanna there's a chance that Liliana's good. If it's sacrificed, Liliana's like actually pretty decent. I think I'm gonna keep this bottom one of the trespassers. We'll see. Yeah, it is sacrifice. Alright, well, Thoughtseize isn't terrible. But would like some kind of real spell thing to get up. Taking Fable seems pretty good here. They have Cauldron Familiar, they've got Mayhem Devil. Maybe answer that. We're gonna get a chance to take the interesting. So like we can maybe take the Dispute and then next turn take the Fable. We're kinda like dying pretty slowly to these things, and the Mayhem Devil's also gonna go. I mean, letting them have some cards with the Dispute and taking the Mayhem Devil's probably better. Not 100% sure on that though. Decision, I think. But like if we draw a 2-drop now, we can feel fine playing it. Whereas before, like, we do definitely want to get rid of the Fable. Pretty happy to draw Fatal Push, but like, don't really have anything to do with it yet. So I thought Thoughtseize, check again. We do have 1 unknown card. And then if not, we'll just, yeah, we'll snap the Mayhem Devil off here. They're actually letting us take this, which is interesting. I think Mayhem Devil... If we had a way to answer it straight away, I'd feel confident, but let me just tag this. We could also maybe be a little tricksy, try and like Fatal Push into Graveyard Trespasser, but I'd feel a bit better doing that if we knew we had the third land. So, hey. We'll see. They're not even going to sacrifice at all, actually. So, like, you don't necessarily want to bring the Cauldron Familiar back with the Witch's Oven tapped. But, hey. I guess if you're definitely wanting to attack, it makes sense. And yeah. One here. Okay, cool. So, we didn't get the land, but Misery Shadow is pretty nice here. Obviously, this is the matchup that it's almost designed for. It's just generically pretty good, but particularly versus Cauldron Familiar is excellent. Do you want that third land, though? Let's see if they can actually draw out of this. Harvest is good because it gives them an answer here. We'll definitely want to push this. But hey. Still, they can't sacrifice the labs yet. They can dispute away. Interesting. Oh, maybe they joined to Fatal Push, should be annoying. We still need to find our land. We will try and tag the Blood-Tithe Harvester here. And maybe just make an attack. They have a lot else going on. Basically on them, like, they want to sacrifice the Blood-Tithe Harvester to the Witch's Oven. Eh. It is what it is. I'm gonna go into the red zone here. Even though, like, we're taking, like, one back. I guess, actually, I won't do it only because if they've got nothing else going on, they can just animate the mainland. And this just kind of stops it. Alright, so they've now opted to sacrifice out of the cat, which I feel great about. And they do not. But it means that they did somehow draw into an answer, then that's... Alright, let's see if we can get land number 3, though. That'd be pretty cool. I like that. I'm a big fan of that. And they have the land to activate at the end of the book. Plus, like, treasure and bonuses. We're on 13. I will draw a card and lose a life. We'll try and hit a land. We do not, but the Fatal Push isn't too bad. Again, I'm going to leave this back. If they attack with the mana land, we kind of force a trade with it, but they should just slam again for here. Yeah. Oh dear. Okay. Ooh. Okay, sure. I think we cast Dreadknight. Dreadknight can block the Gigantha. Then we can, if we don't draw the land, have another go at drawing for it. You can cast the Adventure at the graveyard. Okay, nice. We are playing, I believe, 25 lands to the deck. So, hey. Allow it. I'm looking at this currently is turned off. But we'll see if they draw into like Fatal Push or something like that. To deal with the shadow. But hey, we are on 12. We're on in a bit of a bind. Oh, they've gone ahead and sacrificed that. It does in fact get exiled. They don't get their thing. Fair. Oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah, we don't have a lot going on here. He's probably gonna discard one of the trespassers so that there's a creature that we can exile, or like more creatures that we can exile. Don't want to attack. Don't want to Fatal Push. Alright. Yeah, really good spot. We can Fatal Push the manland if they go down and mate it. They have one mystery card here as well. Them cashing in food for life is okay, sure. Yeah, we're not quite at the point of discard. One more time. Cauldron Familiar. Yep. And we animating. This red zone. Fair enough. I will block with a Dreadknight. Oh, Bit of feels bad. Gotta drive him eventually. We do have Liliana now. I might actually try to push the Familiar now. No, I think having the man lance just too valuable, I think. Oh well. Okay, hit a land, but it sends the battlefield tapped. Now we have the third land, we're not going to be casting this. We've got Fatal Push for this turn, and then I think I'm just going to let the Dreadknight sit in the graveyard. I'll hold up Fatal Push basically, so we don't just like have beef. We're not forced to go Misery Shadow for a man land. Or kind of be. We'll see. I don't want to get the token, so we're just going to push this here. We can take 5 down to 6 and not be too unhappy. We definitely want to try and keep the Shadow in play. If we get a chance to get the Cauldron Familiar off the battlefield, we'd like to, but for now it is going to stay. Ow. Alright, so land lets us cast Exodus Chariot, which is obviously great. Go for the Throat just straight up deals with this. That's better than this going with the arm and just chucking things away. There's no real reason to do it now. Let's pass back. Nope, not that. Alright. No more manlands. They're playing off the top. They do have some good top decks, but hey. We'll go ahead and try and go for throws now. Done it. Then we'll look to like Trespasser. And we can even be the last type depending on what they play here. Alright. The danger really is that Mayhem Devil represents a ton of damage off the top. Because of all these tokens. We're at 5 at the minute. If they play Mayhem Devil, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the Treasure Mana, which is enough to basically... or to almost nuke us into oblivion. Alright. 4th land, let's just slam Sheoldred. Start getting life back. That's fine. Still just gonna sit with the Shadow and play. That's so if they have Mayhem Devil here exactly. 1, 2. Oh, okay, that's a land. Alright. One's for and I get sacrifice. Yeah, so you can in theory have like 5 sacrifices. The cool thing here is that we're at 7 now. If we pay 1 life for this, we effectively gain 1 life. We should just start trying to close the game out, right? I think so. Kind of allowing for this stuff to go on. If they block, we can just like, you know, pump it. We're gonna play the Chariot. We're doing mana efficient. We're gaining life with Sheoldred. We're gonna get back to a healthy point anyway, and then this gives us blockers, and that'll also be able to pressure them. Okay, okay. They're happy enough to sacrifice some tokens on their own time, so that's good for us too. Alright. All this being said, alright, Fable's not doing fantastic. They're at 20, we're on 7. We're gonna gain some life for Sheoldred. Probably gonna end up playing a Grave for Trespasser here and crewing up the Chariot. Something like that. My turn. Alright, we got 9. We're getting pretty safe. Gonna carry on building our board while also making sure that we're not in danger. Just gonna do it now. Exile the Mayhem Devil from the graveyard. Wait, go ahead and crew this up. Yeah. So you got like has no harm or attacking with children here. 4, 8, 10, puts them down to 9, they draw a card, go 7. I'll make these attacks, I think. Oh, we keep 2 blockers. Case of accident. Cool. And turn. Yeah, we should just about there. Crikey, this is a 13-minute game 1, so... Okay. It took us a little while to draw out of our mulligan. There is the Mayhem Devil, but now we're on 10. They have a lot they can sacrifice. A bit of a question of what they can shoot off. Oh, they can get rid of the shadow. Oh, jeez. At least not free to do that. I'll make them pay the extra mana. Or them to use an extra sacrifice. So now we're at 10. They have 1 oven. They're at 13. So this makes a treasure. They have 2 damage floating, so I can sacrifice treasure, sacrifice treasure. My turn. Alright, so we're gonna gain some life. Oh, we should be fairly healthy. A little wary of this flipping. Wanting to close the game out pretty quickly. If we cash the Liana in, it doesn't really, like, the sacrifice from the Cauldron of Familiars. I think that... We're looking at cards in graveyard right now. Do we have a way to get rid of this? Oh, okay, we can do that maybe. Maybe try and coerce them into making a bad block with a Mayhem Devil. We'll exile the I will exile the Dreadknight from my graveyard actually. We'll target air token as well. See what they decide to do here. We're at 12. They can't just like kind of like really pop off with the Mayhem Devil. This is the block that I'm kind of basically trying to entice here. So they're gonna go through their thing. Mayhem Devil's gonna take 2 damage, so I'm gonna play Liana the Last Hope and then tick up on it. They have to sacrifice here, do damage to something. And they'll look to snipe off one of the tokens. Sure thing. Bring it back now. Alright. Bear in mind they could have done this on the token that's currently blocking the Mayhem Devil. But they want to clear blockers off from our side. I'm fine with this. Damage goes 3. I'm going to play Liliana. We can now tick up to kill Mayhem Devil here. And we will just cast the green half of Dreadknight. And we're kind of hunky-dory. I go to 8. We should very nicely have lethal. Priest, ooh. Bit of spice. So Liliana can kill one of the Cauldron Familiars. Yeah, sure. That's gonna do it. Okay. Well, that's game 1 versus Sacrifice Stone. We're like reasonably well set up. We have some graveyard stuff we can attack them with the Go Blanks, which are kind of like the dresses are also pretty good here because you take away all that like fables, all the random like card draw things. Things like a Nexus I can board into, which can be pretty problematic. Kalatas also like Kalatas a bit of a big Misery Shadow. So cut these other veils. Sacrifice much. The Invoke's not fantastic. Tear is pretty interesting. I think Invoke's we want to actually board out of this. It's a bit too clunky. The other things here, like exiling all copies of like Mayhem Devil, even one of the little cards, is actually not too bad. So I actually think we do want to keep this in. The other things I consider bringing in is the Terrace Unders and the Scavenging Use we definitely want. So let's think about it. I like the Hand Disruption spells here. They can put a lot of damage out quite quickly, but are generally a little slower, especially post board. And then, yeah, you get to snag the important cards with Hand Disruption. I think the last one I think is good enough. Like Glisser, probably not connecting. They can just block and sacrifice a bunch of stuff, so that's very fine to cut. Carrot is going to stabilize the board. I'm trying to think how I want to evaluate the end and how you want to evaluate Murderous Rider. I'm cutting one Murderous Rider because Life Total can be like a bit tricky, but then also they could board in some Planeswalkers, which can be also like kind of problematic. So it's 61 here. I think I'm happy enough to leave the Terrace Unders. What's happening if I'm bringing these in then? If I bring these in, what does things look like? We're cutting maybe the other Murderous Rider. That's the fine. Lily's I think pretty good. I don't want to cut a Shieldred. I'm gonna bring in one Terrace Under, cut the Murderous Rider, cut a Chariot. Oh, this is me wanting to leave in all these Dreadknights, which I think is actually probably incorrect in the matchup. I think we probably want to board some of them out. But for the sake of the video and us testing the card, we will leave them in. Kind of the point. Hey, being like, oh yeah, I was going to play a video test a new card. It's actually not great in this matchup. So board them all out. All of a sudden, like this match is already like 20 minutes. It's probably going to be most of the video. So yeah, no lands. Look at that. This is almost entirely the other way. We'll keep this, but pray we don't get Thought Seized. And I'll bomb an Overgrown team, I think. Yeah. Turn 1 Witness. We will Duress. Have a look across the board. Fable in the bin, please. Yeah, Claim, like, we don't have loads of great targets to Claim, but, like, it is a card that's like, hey, you bought out some of those 2 drops. Priest is going to hold us off from casting one of these, probably. We maybe want to get that dead. I'm going to say go, and if they cast a creature, we'll kill the priest in response. Obviously, don't want to be messing around killing the... Yeah, so like here, I'm just going to poke at this thing. Alright, so they've got a cat. Just need to remember that they have this. Because we're going to cast one of these 4 drops, I'm just going to cast this Stress now. If they draw like a Fatal Push or something like that, then like... It's the kind of price to keep those in, because we have things like Shieldred that they need to deal with. And things like the exile cards from play. Yeah, we'll take the Braid. Get rid of that. I'm going to make sure we don't randomly get got. And just an Adrigantha angle. Take some more damage. They also have castle. They could also draw castle cards. I kind of have a choice here. Is Gigantha better than card off the top of the library? And the answer is... I guess they're a land away from casting it as well. Alright, we'll hold on to this AG. I'm going to stand the Kalatas, and that's because it turns off like the Unlikely Witness on these cards. It's a little worse if they just draw their 5th land and play Gigantha. But it's okay. I say it's worse. It's pretty much the same. Sure. We'll play this. Make a Shell Dread. No real reason to trade either of my creatures. So I'm probably just going to say no blocks if the Giganta attacks. Would normally, if I like just made the Shell Dread, I'd be a little worried about like them drawing a priest and claiming it to give it haste immediately. Kind of a fun one. This one is very painful. It says 5 life for a card. Harvester. Oh. They got by the client here. Because Giganta casts it. Well, it'll also get cast off Giganta if they just play it. It doesn't want to use the life. They kind of got screwed. That's a little rough. They're going to take some more life total damage here. Oh, do they draw a Fatal Push? They did draw a Fatal Push, I think. No, they are at 10. Dreadknight's an interesting one. We're at 15 now because we gained some life. The only other turn is like firing up the hive and like attacking. Seems a little not BM, but I think this should be better in general. Yeah, so here we draw the Fatal Push. I think the best thing to do if they draw a removal spell, the best card that they have is the Witness? Or is it Harvester? Harvester's bigger, right? Let's try and keep the... Not keep the... Let's play like we're going to keep the Kalatas in play. Let's Harvester here. Actually... We'll attack with Kalatas. We're not going to play the Dreadknight yet. This is going a little in on Kalatas, but it's going to bump our life total and also put a load of pressure on them. We've got the Hive to power up as well, so if they keep attacking with Giganta, they're going to have to like trade these for it. Get some more zombies. The which is oh no, they're going to do it again. Okay, they're not going to do it again. You go 13. Draw. Feel like I may as well fire this up. We're still forsaking attacking with the Dreadknight, but well, casting the Dreadknight. That's fine. I'll exile the priest here. Conveniently take them off and be able to like draw and play Croxer. At least I had it. We do get the food here to gain life, but we're gonna... I do deny the life gain here, actually. I've forgotten about that. That's that on my part. But we know they don't have any man lands, so I feel okay about it. Oh, big smart. Just not gonna gain life for treasure. Then activate castle. Yeah, if they drew Fatal Push, like we're in like pretty big, not pretty big trouble, but we're almost there. Yeah, I'm just gonna end again. Then double spell here rather than risk activating the man landing, potentially getting blown out by something. Alright, cool. That was a long one, but we did get there in the end, so hey, I'll see you in the next match. Alright, second match with Green Black. Mosswoods, etc., etc. Long but like nice game versus red black sacrifice there. Looks solid. I will go ahead and keep this. Punt is on the play again. This might be our last match. We'll see how long it goes. That was about 25 minutes or so. Normally try and keep to around an hour. Sometimes we go way over. One of the best one we do is go a bit under. Alright, I have the live turret, potentially playing a mirror here. Red black, they have mulligan to 6. But Thoughtseize here. See what they're about. Given that, let's just make an over. 1, 2. We don't have anything like super powerful to do on 2. Let's just go ahead and over into tapped here. Set up for the castle into Deathglade. Everything works perfectly, hopefully. There's another Thoughtseize. Maybe takes the end. Do they have the Fable to hold this draw together is a big question, I think. Second Emo at least will get us back something in a little bit. We'll try and hang on to that one. Similarly, Beseiju being an answer for Fable is pretty good. There is a Fable. Is a 2 for 1, but letting them loot cards is pretty bad for us. I think we do fish here and Beseiju the thing now. Let's wait till their actual end step. Yeah, letting them loot and get the cards and then flip it anyway. Like you're gonna have to do with the other half eventually. You're giving them a land, which admittedly is gonna let them activate these. But we've got more removal spells. And we'll hopefully be alright on that front. Alright, we drew a Hive, which we will play. We got Castle here. See, bunch of cards in hand right now, but alright. Is a Beholder. Oh, power kill here. There are probably less. I haven't done the math. Maybe they're playing main deck backbusters and this is wrong, but I'm kind of fine enough taking a punt on it. Here I think I'm pretty happy to just activate Takanuma on their turn, depending on what they draw into. We can, if they invest in the man land, then we can also kill that. That would be fine. Yeah. And we can also hit something better to get back off Takanuma. Taking go for the throat. Clears the way for the Den of the Bugbear. Fair play. We've got one unknown card, but from what we can tell, it's not. Ooh, fantastic. Likely to be another land. Or a removal spell. I guess maybe we'll find out in a second. Here. I think I will take the Trespasser just because it does require them to be like a 2 for 1. But this isn't getting any better, so you may as well see what the last card is, I think. Just be on the safe side. Because they've not really had any opportunities to play removal, I think this makes sense. We'll go ahead and Trespasser. We don't have any creatures in their graveyard, but we have a few. Murder Strider we can actually get back with the last side, which feels pretty good. And we get actually Axe on the Misery Shadow. Okay. They can still just queue up this man land and start and keep attacking with it. Which is totally fair. Ooh, okay, they decided to play a different land. They could be castling here. They're gonna keep this attack up. We're gonna block one of the goblins. I don't want to trade away this. Alright, another Thoughtseize. We have last. Liliana isn't exactly profit. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Glenn's gonna hold off the manland this turn, and then we can down tick Liliana and grab something out of our graveyard. So currently be the Murderous Rider. Maybe we'll hit something else. This is mill 2, return a creature. Alright. We're now castling. Let's down to
Your day is mine to
we're on 11. I still feel pretty good about the Dreadknight. Draw a card on his life here. Okay, we got a bonus one. I think the plan is still. We're on 10. This flips the Glutton back over, but obviously we're gonna have another creature in play. I'm gonna go to 8 to cast this, seeing as they've got new cards in hand. Jesus. Okay. Excuse me. Yeah, I didn't expect them to. They have just flooded us horribly. Fair enough. But they get to laugh at us as we thought sees them. So that is fair. So we can't do one of those. I think we want to attack with the Glutton now. They are on 11. You can't do as good a job of protecting the Liliana. For now, I'm going to leave the option open to get the Murderous Riders. I'm just going to exile some cards from their graveyard. Alright. If they animate, I'll just block it. On the flip side of that, we can also animate this and make a lethal attack. They have one card they can't animate a manland. Wait, am I dumb? They can gain a life off of castle, right? They've got 2 cards. It works, it lands them the same. So, if I've done my maths right, exile this Murderous Rider, lethal. And if I have not... Wait, have I done the right one here? Yeah, okay, good. I panicked. I was like, wait, I forgot there's 2 things starting things in our graveyard. Yeah. I've done the math wrong, we can tick up Liliana. But, yeah. Okay. So they got, like, horrendously flooded. Fair enough. We would like the Sorens, we would like the Invoke. And so many cards. It's just a weird card here, because actually most of the important cards are creatures. It's just Fable you want to hit. The Go Blanks, I think, are good. The Polychronos, which comes back, I think is really good. The Packbusters are really, really good. The Terra Sunders are not particularly bad. The Damaging Use is, like, fairly okay. And then, like, the end is totally passable. So, like, these cards could potentially come in. Let's see what we actually want to cut here. So, Murderous Riders, I think these are fine. I think the Liliana, the Last Hope, isn't really getting tons of value. The Trespassers are 2/4s, but then get stonewalled by some of the 4-drop creatures. And then I'm not a huge... Like, I don't think we really need Misery Shadows lying around. This is one of the matchups where you're, like, traditionally you're meant to Born Out Thoughtseizes here and play Hand Disruption. But there's some really important cards. It's always quite tempting. Maybe the play is not to go on this, like, Thoughtseize bank plan. Because these are, like, good. You can get the 2/1 and get the last 2 cards in their hand. It's amazing. You're often just going to be playing off top anyway, and so just having your deck filled with more powerful cards, because these are so bad top decks, is sometimes the way to go. Something like this Kalitas is actually probably totally fine as well. I think the answer is to cut some number of Fatal Pushes, because we don't have great ways to enable them. And then, like, kind of rely on Go for the Throats and some of these more expensive cards. A little bit of a danger of getting swept up by things like the Manlands. I think 2 Terra Sunders is probably one too many. Basically figuring out what the last cut here is. think I'm just going to trim a trespasser. Alright. Let's settle in with us. I hate these hands. It's like I have 2 good 4-drops. I have lands. If our opponent has like Thoughtseize and stuff like that, like we're on the draw, so I think I keep it, but we have a real chance of just getting annihilated. Yeah, I think so. Like our hand is obviously very slow. A lot of hands are gonna be okay. Cool. Well, that's the perfect card to make our hand. So we'll take that. We have the Swamp for Castle as well, so we should be able to just kind of from here onto Roxa. Discard the pathway. Yeah. Alright. We don't want to expose Scavenging Ooze for like a lot of reasons. Scavenging Ooze really you want to play later in the game. Obviously we can play Exile Croxa here if they tap out, but we don't want to get it exposed at all to things like Bonecrusher Giant. Or pretty much anything. Okay, given the state of things, I think we just go Scavenging Ooze, eat here. And we can also threaten to crew. And next time we're setting up to make Sorrow make a token, we'll go like Sheoldred. We're letting them have Fable, which is well, we don't have a way to not do that. we don't have a way to add stuff. Kind of just here. We'll go ahead and get rid of Croxa now. We don't have to worry about that. No, okay. Let's not animate the Backbuster and get. Let's not randomly go aggressive. Like we can animate the Backbuster, just swing in for 4. That into Slam Sheoldred is good against some hands, but it's also bad versus. It actually did have a Harvester there. Okay. Like one of the ways you get punished by boarding out all these Fatal Pushes out is by like slamming a Harvester on turn 2 and just being able to attack again and again and again. Given the state of things, I'm gonna crew here just so that we can block the Goblin. If they have a removal spell for the Bankbuster, we're kind of getting 2 things out of their hand, and I feel okay about that going into a turn we snap Sheoldred. Yeah, power kill here is not power kill on Sheoldred, so we can feel a bit better about it. Okay. So, Link Castle. Slam Sheoldred, they have 2 cards. Obviously did the loot off the table. If we slam Sorin and go minus, they've got this to attack it with, there's a lot of bad things that can happen. This is the way forward. We just want to find a removal spell for the backside of this Fable right now. That should be our top priority. So, let's see. Doesn't look like it. If they have Fatal Push, this is so dead to this anyway. Like, the way we get punished. What is it that they have? In the Fatal Push, they would have probably sacrificed this already. Bonecrusher Giant. The only thing. Trying. This also removes something they can copy. I'm wondering how we're gonna get a braid. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Go blank's really good. I think we keep Sorin. Sorin draws cards. But playing Sorin on an empty board is worse than playing it on a board where we've got blockers. We'll try this. Last Hope does look a lot worse after we've had a Graveyard Exiled. For sure. Gonna block the land here. Stopping the man land means that the Sorin's gonna be a lot safer. We've still got high enough of a life total that we're fine just like going, okay. If we need to, we can just roll out the Dreadknight again here. Really close. Let's cast the draw half of this first. Oh, we hit a removal spell for the reflection. I think we just did that. Get this thing gone and out of here. Alright, because having the reflection plays super dangerous. Okay, so I've got 2 cards. We got 2 cards plus a Dreadknight floating. Feel pretty good. What do they have? Sheoldred is really good. No. Alright, well that's an answer to Sheoldred. Yeah, no point waiting around to cast a kicker. Exile target non-land permanent. We got left of the tank. Doesn't look like it. We're gonna Liliana here. Pick up on the token.
Happy to help, but
Make
I
our
tell you
Dreadknight.
that when I say something, you
Pass.
suffer.
Oh, this is interesting. I don't want to butter removal spell on it, but like taking down the Dreadknight's not a big deal. I'm just gonna plus up here.
Your day is mine to ruin.
Make a token. What I'm wanting to do is basically sit here, take a turn off now, then be able to go, alright, uptick, 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 while gaining life off the token. Hopefully. Assuming everything kind of goes to plan and they survive. They didn't leak this card away, which means I wonder what, which makes me wonder what it is. I think they did a slammed and invoke despair already, but yeah. Unless they want to take a draw step, because obviously if this is a Blood Tide Harvest they draw into, then they can sack this off, like pick off the token maybe. I don't know what the plan is. If that's better than looting. Extinction event that even does get rid of all that stuff. Okay. We're on 9. Let's pick up on Sorin. Yeah, we will reveal Scavenging Use.
Nothing on Innistrad is free.
Up Liliana. 0. I'll exile 2 things from their graveyard, I guess. Exile the Harvester, like a Colgan's Command, and then basically leaving mana so that I can go for the throat, but I want to exile cards just in case they have Croc. If they have like second Crocs or something like that. I guess Fable. Like, we're telegraphing that we have a 2 mana removal spell, but then like that's fine.
Soon you'll be left with nothing.
Trespass is good. Does get the Scavenging Use. Deny us some stuff. I don't minus Sorin, but then also don't really want to. Basically, want to put ourselves in a place where we just slam Liliana ultimate next turn. So I think that I want to. I'll go for the throw here. Pay the price, discard Trespasser of our own. We can even threaten to get back but
Your day is mine to ruin.
we'll pass. We got Castle Activation as well, depending on what they do.
Befalls us all.
I'll just see if we hit a fail. Well, we brought it out. I'm just going to drop this through the floor.
You failed to entertain me. I'm calling the shots here.
Eat Trespasser. Play a land. Can activate this. I'll attack. And the ultimate. And that should carry us through. So yeah, we have one game against Rakdos Sacrifice, and then another game versus Rakdos Midrange. Both very, very popular decks. Sacrifice probably more popular than... I would say in Pioneer is more popular. On Ladder it's probably pretty equal. Draw a card here. Before I make a decision. I'm gonna block here and then fatal push this one. Given what we drew. And we get more zombies. And go to the attacks. At least we basically get one set of draws here. I'm gonna go ahead and activate this now. I'll be honest, it's like if they draw something like if they have some miraculous series of draws, they're only getting one card. Like it is what it is. But yeah, two very solid wins. Struggled a little bit at times, but like hey, yeah, clean-ish. So okay, I'll see you in the post game. All right. Here with the post game kind of wrap up. It's an interesting one. We played against two Rakdos decks, Sacrifice, which is at the minute maybe the best deck in the format if you look on online results, and also Rakdos Midrange, just like Stalwart, one of the quote-unquote best decks that's going to kind of be there forever while like Fable, Shield, Dread League on the format. One of the actual big questions with Black Green is like, hey, how does it fare against Rakdos? We kind of in these matchups we won. We kind of got to leverage some of the new cards. Like Dreadknight was really really good in the matches that we played with it. Really really solid. Be able to just like cash it in, draw further into our deck, dig for our important pieces. Just all around very very powerful. Is it better than Fable? I can't say that. But some of the other good cards here, like having like Besage's like really, really nice, just being able to have it in the deck. Escort Chariot very solid. Like he's been totally fine. We're not like tuning super into green, and then you do get some really nice sideboard cards like Terra Sunder. So pretty nice. But the core of the deck is like you're playing black mid range, splashing a color. And see, there are some good red cards, there's some good green cards. But you can't really take like, okay, what does the matchup like directly look like, and go, alright, so that means that deck's better than the other one, because like it's all about what their matchups are versus the rest of the field. And so, hey, I think both really really good. Green again with these like things like Terra Sunder, which are really really good in some matchups. The like Scavengers graveyard stuff, pretty nice. There are definitely some advantages of like Scavengers over something like Trespasser. Like they both obviously tap the graveyard, but Trespasser's quite limited what you can do. Scavengers is very good versus Greasefang. Hey, it is what it is. The kind of like package of cards with like Misery's Shadow and the counters out of the board, just obviously incredible versus Sacrifice. I think they're really really good places to be right now, just in terms of like deck contents anyway. But yeah, really really happy with the list. Hope you enjoyed the video. Obviously we only played a couple of matchups, so if you want to see more of it, let me know. I'll try and put some together in a week or so. Trying to mix it up. So it's been a little bit since Worlds come out. We've got spoilers for like 2 other sets at the moment. So we'll see what's new down the pipeline as well. Super excited for Lost Caverns. And yeah, some other stuff coming your way too. So keep an eye out for that. Thanks for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please do like, subscribe, and share it about. I really appreciate it. And have a great day. Thanks for watching. Peace out.